Deputy High Commissioner, Honourable Justices of the High Court of Malawi, Investment Attaché, MASP CEO, distinguished guests, members, friends, all protocol observed. A very warm welcome from all of us at the Scotland-Malawi Partnership. Whether in the room, here in Edinburgh City Chambers, or online, you're equally welcome. We are recording this event and we take your ongoing participation as your consent to take part in the broadcast which goes up on our past events page after this event. My name's Stuart Brown. I'm the current CEO of the Scotland-Malawi Partnership, which gets abbreviated to SMP. The SMP is an umbrella membership organisation which exists to support, connect and represent the many individuals and organisations throughout Scotland who've got dignified two-way people-to-people partnerships with friends in Malawi. Our aim is to encourage the sharing of lessons learned and collaboration where appropriate and to reduce duplication of effort. Our Malawi-based sister organisation is the Malawi-Scotland Partnership, or MASP. Both of our organisations are grateful for funding from the Scottish Government, but we are independent, non-party political NGOs. We're always very glad when there's an opportunity to welcome visiting Malawian friends, seeing their partners in Scotland, and where possible, we provide a platform so that we in Scotland can listen to and learn from Malawian experts. And happily, today is just such an occasion. The International Academy of the Scottish Police College, GIZ, and the Financial Crimes Division of the High Court of Malawi have collaborated to build a programme of activity in Scotland for distinguished members of the Malawian judiciary who lead and are currently assigned to the Financial Crimes Division of Malawi's High Court, from whom we shall hear today. They are the Honourable Justice Professor Redson Edward Kapindu, who is the judge in charge of the High Court of Malawi Financial Crimes Division. The Honourable Lady Justice Anneline Khantambi, who was appointed Judge of the High Court in October 2020. The Honourable Lady Justice Violet Palikana Chipao, who serves as Chairperson of the Judiciary Training Committee and was recently appointed a member of Malawi's Judicial Service Commission. Spending time with the delegation and here with us today is Malawi's Deputy High Commissioner, Justice Agness Patemba, who is a sitting High Court judge herself and a long-standing friend of Scotland and of the SNP. We're also delighted that we'll hear today from Inspector Derek Simpson, Programme Manager for the International Academy of the Scottish Police College, and John Anthony, who is Anti-Corruption Lead for GIZ Malawi. Anthony will tell us more, but GIZ is Germany's main development agency. You'll correct me if I'm wrong with that, Anthony. John, I'm sorry. We hope to keep to 5 minutes per speaker, allowing a good amount of time for questions and discussion at the end. As you listen to the speakers, please feel welcome to store up questions or to write them in the chat function in Zoom. Today is not a forum where any specific legal cases can be prosecuted nor defended, but rather a chance to hear about the partnership activity being undertaken between the two nations and the priorities and interests of the Honourable Justices. So without further ado, please let me hand over to the Deputy High Commissioner, Justice Agness Patemba.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Honourable judges, Derek, John, and the rest of the team. On behalf of the Malawi High Commission, I'm excited that we facilitated the visit of the judges in collaborating with the government's effort to combat corruption and ensuring effectiveness of handling of cases in financial crimes cases. The three judges, which are being hosted by the International Academy Scottish Police College, and Derek, to you, Derek, thank you. We are grateful for your hosting Malawian judges, and we are also grateful to the GIZ EU for facilitating the logistics for the honourable judges to travel this side just to learn, as we are the judiciary as we have a new division, financial crimes division, and this visit is an opportunity for the judges to learn from Scotland, one of the well-established legal jurisdiction, as how best we can benefit from their experiences in handling financial crimes cases. So, and apart from picking Scotland, we also considering the relationship that has been there between Malawi and Scotland, the people-to-people approach and the long-standing relationship that has been there between Malawi and Scotland. So we thought Scotland gives us a much better view of how we can look at the issues. And I was also asked to speak on our relationship, as Stuart said, also a sitting judge. As judges in Malawi, especially female judges, we are affiliated to the International Association of Women Judges, where I personally have benefited. My first trip to America was funded by the International Association of Women Judges in Miami, 2013, where we were interacting with other female judges across the world, and just to see how women judges are doing, and to experience the pride of the female judges. And from there, as Malawi chapter, the women, we also have the Women Judges Association in Malawi, and through the association from the International Association of Women Judges, who've benefited through trainings and even the development of human rights trafficking guide, which is helping the magistrates and judges on how to deal with cases to do with human rights cases. And apart from that, apart from sitting in the court as judges, so women judges, our association also allows male judges to be to be members of the association. We've been going to the rural areas. The main aim was to ensure that we bring the courts to the people, and also to demystify the court procedures, because people had the feeling that if as a gender-based victim, if I go to report the issue to police, I might end up being arrested. Those were the issues that women or victims were afraid to report. But so we as women judges, we've been involved in sensitizing the victims or the people in the rural areas, just to inform them how the law operates and the court procedures, so that when they come to the court, they have an idea of what they are expected to do, so that they are not maybe scared to testify and all those things. So we've been targeting women and girls because they are most of the victims of gender-based violence. And also recently, what the Women Judges Association has been doing is to mentor the young ladies. We've noted that you find that when girls are selected to go to secondary school, the enrollment in secondary schools is very low, and you find that boys are advancing and girls are lagging behind. And what we noted was because some were issues to do with sanitary issues and all that. So when we go there to just share our experiences, what we've gone through, that the people who have achieved, the judges you see today, doesn't mean that they were like coming from high-to-well families, but they also went through what you've gone through, but they made a decision to circumvent or to defy all the odds and make sure they achieve what. So it has improved the enrollment of girls in secondary schools, because I've seen that even women can manage to hold up those high positions. And so we are proud to have been have been engaged, or to continue engaging with women and girls in those areas, to ensure that we bring legal literacy to them, we mentor them, in career development, and we help them deal with how they can handle with the gender-based violence. I think basically that's what I would say. So I will now hand over to our host at the academy, Derek Simpson. You could take over from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Patemba. I'm very much appreciated, and we're very happy that you brought up the topic of gender-based violence, as it is very much the focus of our work in Malawi. But I'll introduce myself first. So Inspector Derek Simpson. I'm not in uniform, but I'm a police officer. I work at the Scottish Police College in Tullyallen, and have done for about the last 3 years, working on the Scotland, Malawi and Zambia programme. Our programme is fully funded by Scottish Government, so we very much appreciate their assistance in allowing us to carry out the programme, and that involves a lot of Scottish police officers travelling out to Malawi and working in partnership with the Malawi Police Service, so that we can work with them to improve the level of training that their officers receive. Now, as I said, that's focused very much around gender-based violence. We run training courses for desk officers, frontline officers, around sex offences and child protection. We do more specialist courses which centre around interviewing of children, particularly those who have been the victims of crime. And also we run a course for specialist officers who support female victims of sexual violence, domestic abuse. And alongside that, we have brought over to Scotland over recent years some Malawian and also Zambian police officers to improve their investigative skills. We think it's very important that we work with them and share the expertise that is present within Police Scotland to help them to develop these investigative skills. And that takes me on to this week. This current week with the Honourable Judges is in some ways a bit detached from our normal work in Malawi. It doesn't form part of the Scottish Government funded programme, but I'll let John speak a bit further about the funding and how this came about. But through our programme in Malawi, last year we met with John from GIZ, and immediately we recognised that by working in collaboration, we could both achieve a lot more than we could do so working alone. So we've sat with John, we've had some discussions about how we can make a difference. And he has very helpfully introduced us to people in Malawi who can help with our work over there. We've talked about Sex for Grades programmes, which his organisation are working on, very much an area of common ground for us. But part of John's work involves anti-corruption and financial crimes. So we volunteered our services to facilitate a visit for members of the judiciary from Malawi to come to Scotland and learn about how we do things in Scotland. Now, by no means are we saying that we have the ideal gold standard model in Scotland, but we have been on a lengthy journey where we have learned over the years how we can improve on many of the methods, and we are delighted to be able to help colleagues in Malawi to learn from some of the mistakes that we have made and some of the positive aspects. So this week, I think, has been really inspiring for us, having that collaborative working and working together to help each other out there. And I've seen some very common themes. We may not be focusing specifically on gender-based violence, but one of the main things that we have learned is whether you're working gender-based violence or whether you're working on financial crimes, collaborative working is absolutely critical in everything we do. And without that collaboration between the various stakeholders, organisations involved, we're never going to successfully achieve the goals that we set out to do. So this week we have helped in putting together a programme which involves providing access to those on the investigative side, so mainly in the police, but also HMRC, the UK tax collecting agency. We've brought in the Civil Recovery Unit. We've brought in various partners from within the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service who are our prosecutors. We were very lucky yesterday to meet with the Judicial Institute, and in particular the former Frank Mulholland, who was able to take time out of his diary to speak with the group. And tomorrow we are going to meet with representatives from one of the large banks based in the UK, which should hopefully allow us to see that in a commercial perspective as well. So we hope that we've managed to provide the justices with some valuable insight into how we do things in Scotland, and the opportunity to compare and contrast with their own system, and also what they will see next week in England, south of the border. And hopefully over the coming months and years, we can work further in collaboration and take forward some of these themes and some of the learning points, and work together to improve the situation in Malawi and also learning in Scotland as well. So with that said, I will pass back to Stuart.
Derek, thank you very much indeed for that overview of the programme to date. That's very interesting indeed. I wonder if we might now pass to Justice Professor Kapindu. Please, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Stuart. I should begin by acknowledging our Deputy High Commissioner, Justice Honourable Justice Patemba, Mr. Brown, CEO, Mr. Simpson, from the Police College, Scottish Police, John Anthony from GIZ, and my sister judges here, members of the Scotland Malawi Partnership, distinguished guests online. It is a privilege for us and a great honor to be here. And before I say more, I would like to also acknowledge in a special way the European Union and the BMZ, who have made very significant financial and logistical contribution so that we could come here on our study tour. We are also very thankful to the High Commission for the facilitating role that they have played for us to be here. We are very thankful. Okay, so we are in the Financial Crimes Court, which is a division of the High Court of Malawi. The three judges here, myself, my name is Redson Kapindu, Justice Violet Chipao, and Justice Anneline Khantambi. We are the three judges of the Financial Crimes Court. The Financial Crimes Court was set up by law in November 2022. We started operating most immediately, but probably practically we can say that we are 3 years old. This is our third year of operation. We are still relatively new, and that is one of the reasons why we believe that in these early years of operation, we need to, look as wide as possible, learn from the experiences of others who have traveled this road before. We are keenly mindful of the heavy responsibility that we have, which we accept with grace. We know that Malawi, like many other countries, has a huge challenge in dealing with financial and economic crimes, including corruption, money laundering, and other problematic financial crimes. These are not unique to Malawi. They are crimes that, committed around the world. And therefore, in dealing with those issues from a judicial perspective, it is our view that we need to broaden our scope and see how other jurisdictions are handling these matters. And we are not just interested to talk to our brother and sisters in the judiciaries, because we know that in dealing with these offenses, we also have to talk to the other actors, the investigators and the financial intelligence units and others, so that we get a more holistic view of how these issues are dealt with in other jurisdictions. And this is why, in collaboration with GIZ and the other partners that I mentioned, we were particularly excited that this visit to the United Kingdom has materialized. And it is not by accident that we have come to Scotland first, because Malawi and Scotland have a deep and long-standing relationship, which has already been acknowledged. The first Britons, if I can use that term, to come to Malawi came from Scotland. And we should also first come to Scotland, to start, this visit from Scotland. So, we are particularly happy that we are here. I arrived yesterday. My colleagues have been here a little longer. But I can say that I can already testify to the warmth of the Scottish people. And of course, the sessions that we have had today have been particularly enriching already. We had very robust and enriching discussions this morning, and I know that I have missed quite a bit in the last few days that my colleagues have been here. And then going back to what I was saying, the Scotland-Malawi partnership is a treasured partnership, because the cooperation that we have is not only limited to the governance or justice or law enforcement sector, but it stretches to all other areas: education, health, culture, religion. It is, as I said, a deep-standing and long-standing relationship, and we treasure it. And my word would only be that let us continue to collaborate, work together, make this partnership grow. I hope that the generations that come after us are going to make this partnership even stronger. And during our own lifetime, we will strive, I'm sure, to make it grow even stronger. So probably, we will engage in more discussion, I think, as we go with this conversation. But I just wanted to say that we are deeply appreciative to those that have organized this session that we are having today. And as I said, I just arrived yesterday, and I am sure that my two sisters here will have more to say in terms of what the experiences have been. But as we said, we are learning, but we are also sharing experiences. And I believe that even when we go to England, to London, the same kind of exchanges and the depth of exchange will continue, and that will also learn new things, how they're doing things over there. But I'm in Scotland, so I must very focused and emphasize on the deep value that our visit to Scotland brings to the Malawi judiciary. On behalf of the Honourable, the Chief Justice, I should thank everyone also for this possible. And as I said, we'll be very happy to engage more as we proceed. Judge.
Thank you so much, Honourable Deputy High Commissioner and CEO, allow me to stand on the protocols already observed. I will proceed from where Professor Kapindu has stopped and begin also by acknowledging and appreciating the warmth with which we have been received here in Scotland, and also specifically Derek at the Police Academy. So as he has said, we've been here since the weekend. The past 3 days and 4 days, including today, they have been very meaningful days. We've had very meaningful engagements from the first day to today. There has been great learning from the experiences from our colleagues from Scotland. As Derek said, we've had an opportunity to meet several partners that work on economic and financial crimes and even serious crimes. We've also been to the court. So being from the court already, we were interested in wanting to learn how the judges handle the cases, and we got very insightful discussions. Some of the issues that came out are issues on how to manage and control proceedings, which is also an issue that is relevant to us considering the nature of financial crimes and asset recovery. We've also appreciated the rules of procedure that are applicable, some of which we do not have, and it's a learning where we think we can adopt some measures. We've also had experiences with institutions like the revenue and the revenue. We have had experiences with financial investigations. And I think from what we learned, I think one thing that comes out very clear is the issue of coordination. You see how coordinated different sectors are to ensuring that they make a case that will stand the day in the court. The levels of coordination, but also the levels of expertise that are involved. The financial accountants expertise, the investigative expertise, several layers of expertise that would help build a case that can stand in court. But you also see that on the court's point, that when you have a case that is well prepared, the court doesn't have serious challenges in terms of addressing the matters before it. We've interacted with investigators as well as prosecutors. They have also shared several case studies that they have undertaken on these areas that we have interest in. And we've also gone through issues of cryptocurrency, which is something that is topical at the moment, but also new in maybe in several jurisdictions, and even in our own jurisdictions. We do not have regulatory framework on the same, but I think it helps to see and appreciate how these matters are handled here. And so it's been great learning. And so for me, apart from sitting in the Financial Crimes Division, I am also chairing the Judiciary Training Committee. And so from the training point of view, it is also helpful to help me in terms of appreciating and understanding how gaps can be filled in our own situation if we are trying to develop training programs. So appreciating even the kind of expertise that we may need, the kind of areas that we need to focus on if we are to deliver training that is going to be meaningful. And also, I think the opportunity to have a network of people that are already in training, including the academy itself and also the judicial institute that we met yesterday. We gives us an opportunity of more learning when it comes to issues of training for the judiciary. So in terms of our community, the community looks after training of judicial officers as well as staff of the judiciary that support the work of the judges, coordinating and developing training programs. We are still a committee, but we are moving into establishing an institute that will have people that are fully committed to working on education programs. At the moment, the committee is composed of members that are already working on other responsibilities within, and it's an issue of time challenge because you're already committed with other things, and that's why even as an institution, I want to move into having a fully fledged judiciary training institute. And so this trip also offers an opportunity of learning from other training institutes on how they set up and how we can move. I think I could stop there and let my sister Judge proceed from there if she has anything to add, and I'm sure she does. Maybe I only, as I am handing over to her, I would only want to say, and thank you so much for taking us to Blantyre. You took us back home, so we had an opportunity of visiting Blantyre, the birthplace of David Livingstone, and it was quite an exciting experience. We were like we are back in Malawi in Blantyre. So over to you, Judge Khantambi.
Thank you, Judge. Let me also write on the protocols observed. At this point, I'm tempted to just say I concur with what my predecessors have already said. I don't think I can say much on what they've already said concerning the professional side of our visit. I can't overemphasize. It's really been a great learning experience. But also culturally, like Judge Chipao has said, it has also been a great learning experience. We go away with so many learning points, so many takeaways, some of which have been highlighted, and I'm sure John will also speak much on. We're just grateful that this visit has accorded us an opportunity to sort of widen our horizon. Like being in Malawi, we had our own standards, the ones that we were like pursuing. But this visit has sort of raised the bar higher, not only as judges, but generally as an institution. It gives us lessons to have something to propose, not just to the judiciary, but also to the other law enforcement agencies. If we have those interactions, if they're willing, we would have meaningful engagements with them based on the experiences that we've had over here. So it's been more than just a visit to help us carry out our responsibilities as judges. It has literally widened our horizons. We see so many possibilities. We see so many areas that we could improve on and would do much better in our work as we seek to advance justice. The hospitality, the food. Wow, the food. No, but that's the other thing that I take away. You know, as a judge, you get so busy. Sometimes when you ask for these experiences to share with others your experiences or to give some other people some time so you can share your experiences, you tend to think about your workload and you're like, my time is already squeezed, you know. But for me, I took the time to just observe our hosts, Inspector Derek and Sergeant Val, and everybody else who has been taking us places, including Darren, who forgot his name. So I just saw that spirit, that willingness to assist, to set aside their time. It hasn't been easy. I'm listening to everybody else that we've engaged with. They are quite busy. but they travel distances, they set aside their time. I was just thinking about my time. I'm like, they do all this work, they have to present this work, and then they're taking that much time just to come and sit with us. It's greatly appreciated. So I take away something of value that, you can't be too busy to be of help for somebody. So for that, we truly, truly, truly appreciate Inspector Derek. You've been so outstanding. You and your team, we truly appreciate the accommodation, everything. Oh, I can sit here and talk and talk and talk. Let's just say professionally and culturally, it has been amazing. Stay clear.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's tremendous. John, will we pass to you, please?
Yes, thank you. So the challenge of going last is so I look back at this and I think cultural tick, food tick, the learning tick. Thank you to Inspector Derek Simpson tick. I don't know what to talk about now. I first arrived in Malawi in May 2 years ago. And there is a reason why Malawi is called the warm heart of Malawi. And having now been to Scotland, and I have been to Scotland before, including to Edinburgh, and I love Scotland, not just for the culture, but mostly for the weather, because it's raining outside. But,
That's what
I fully understand this incredible bond between Scotland and Malawi, because both countries have a very warm heart. And I can testify in front of all the judges sitting here before me today of the warm heart of Malawi, but they also now can testify about the warm heart of Scotland. And it's understandable. And I also now respect how this partnership came about and the importance of this partnership when I now experience these two countries in tandem. And I reflect Honourable Justice Khantambi's words about how much time very busy people have given to come and present to us and lecture to us, inform us, educate us, and share their mistakes also, share where their gaps are. It's been amazing. So in recognition of that relationship, let me just say a few things outside of my tick box. Thank you to the European Union and, of course, to German Cooperation and Development for sponsoring us to be able to come here and for supporting GIZ. So how did this start? I head the anti-corruption component of the Public Finance and Economic Management project in Malawi, which has been running for several years, and the anti-corruption component started almost 2 years ago. So that also is a relatively new component of the Public Finance and Economic Management project. Again, funded by EU and BMZ, we engage in several activities with several partners in several environments. So we, for example, my role moves from investigations to prosecutions to the judiciary, to oversight institutions, to gender equality, cross-cutting across all. So in that, I think, Madam Patemba, you already alluded to the women's access to justice work. And I come back to that in the partnership that GIZ is forming with Police Scotland and their guidance on some of the gender violence related matters that we are consulting them with. But we are also involved in digitalization and how we encourage moving away from and support moving away from paper-based systems into digital systems, electronic case management systems that allow for faster working, more economical working, and development of hybrid courts that allow cases to be heard without too much movement of the judges and without too much movement of people. So there's a lot of saving there in terms of the finances and logistics associated with some of these cases that are heard by not just the Financial Crimes Division, but other courts. So a little bit about the work that GIZ does. We work with the Financial Crimes Division of the High Court, the Anti-Corruption Bureau, the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the Malawi Police Service, Office for the Directorate of Public Officer Declarations, and we work with the Financial Intelligence Authority, which in Malawi is equivalent to the FIU, Financial Intelligence Units. So permit me a little bit to talk about the relationship that Scotland Police have with GIZ. I first met with Derek, Inspector Derek Simpson of Scotland Police in Malawi on recommendation from the British High Commission, who GIZ also collaborates with, and the partners that they support. At that very first meeting, it became very clear that there were some areas of collaboration that we needed to exchange on, but it became clear to me that Police Scotland were more advanced in some areas that we were just now beginning to move into. So that liaison and that collaboration began. And from there, I approached Derek about the possibility of bringing the judges. And the first thing he said was, well, this is outside our remit, but leave it with me. Let me see what I can do. And the culmination of that is this amazing visit with so much exposure, not just to learning, but to Scottish culture as well. So for the first time in a long time, I had haggis last night, and this morning I had black pudding for breakfast. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the collaboration that is not just in Malawi, but it's involving Scotland Police. We are engaging with a civil society organization who we will fund with a grant to do some work targeting sex for grades in Malawi at universities. And when we start to look at that whole issue of sex for grades and how do we target it, it became clear that we also needed to incorporate the Anti-Corruption Bureau, who have an MOU with the CSO in that department, CSAT, but Scotland Police, who have been training in investigations of gender-based violence. We wanted to now utilize the benefit of the work that Scotland Police has been doing with the Malawi Police Service. So in this regard, we are now also engaging with the Malawi Police Service to look at how best to utilize the skill set, bring in the training, and hopefully some mentoring for them remotely. Another area of development was we are working with the Malawi Police Service in terms of their training and capacity development so that they can roll on trainings. We are focusing on investigations at this time. So in this respect, we're looking at enhancing the police training facility in Lilongwe. Of course, I knew that the Scotland Police do some training in this regard in that very facility. So I contacted Derek and I said, can you give us some advice on what enhancements we could incorporate? And Derek said, do you want a prioritized list or just a bulk, we just share with you? So I got an itemized list of 33 things that we should think about. But of course, the priority there was how to enhance the training experience, but how to also connect the training globally. So what we're aiming to do now for the Lilongwe Police Training Facility is set up a system there with some TV screens and the ability to connect globally with Derek and his training team, so the trainings can be enhanced, not just in the classroom on the day, but also bringing in experts remotely from anywhere in the world to deliver training. this is work in progress. It's not going to start tomorrow, but we are actively engaged with the Malawi police. GIZ have signed an MOU with the Malawi police, and we are progressing on that. Two key lessons that I want to just reinforce that we have received, that Honourable Justice Chipao has alluded to. One, financial crime is global, and this is something that we're learning here and how Scotland is connecting globally. And two, collaboration internally, institutionally, globally is critical for success. And recovering the assets hits the criminals, takes away the benefit of crime. And that asset recovery process has been a key focus of the areas of learning here. And it's been a steep learning curve. And I think on that steep learning curve, I stop there and give the opportunity for a discussion and questions. Thank you.
John, thank you very, very much indeed. So I don't know if there are any questions online yet, or around the room. We have others with legal expertise and much expertise of Malawi with us, both online and in the room, who've not had a chance to speak yet. Perhaps while you gather your thoughts, I might ask Justice Kapindu, you mentioned the sharing of experience from the Malawi side, and Derek in his remarks mentioned as well that Scotland doesn't presume to hold all of the answers, and the partnership is very much about two-way sharing of learning. I wonder if there are any thoughts of things that you've been able to share from the Malawi side, without breaking any confidences, that have been useful for Scotland.
Thank you very much. Difficult for me to say. I would rather have had the Scottish delegation to say what it is that they may have learned from us. But as I said, I think the engagement that we had, and remember, today was day one for me. I hadn't been there the past few days, but the engagement that we had this morning spanned across a number of issues. We talked about matters of institutional collaboration and how in both countries we can strengthen the collaborative work of various institutions, especially in law enforcement, that deal with financial crime matters. I think that was a major highlight this morning. And as I'm saying, in terms of us, we learned quite a lot. I would defer to my Scottish colleagues to say what it is that they may have learned, if any. Two, we also shared challenges in terms of legal framework, and the challenges in terms of enforcement when it comes to cryptocurrencies, which is an area that is emerging in this domain of financial crimes, considering that there would even be jurisdictional challenges when it comes to enforcement and regulation. What occurred to me is that on both sides, we all don't seem to have very clear answers yet in terms of how exactly deal with these issues. And I believe that we will continue to share notes. Developments in Scotland we will be following, and we hope that our Scottish counterparts will be sharing information with us as much as we are also going to be sharing the information that we have with our Scottish colleagues. That is, in brief, what I can talk about in terms of today. But my two colleagues here have been around for a few days. So I am sure that they probably will answer your question better than I would.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I forgot the High Commissioner here, who also has another hat of a judge. I'm sure she may also want to share some reflections. Ms. Judge.
Thank you, Prof. I think I must have heard Inspector Derek right here speak during the time that he was given the opportunity to introduce himself and speak, that one of the things that is his takeaway from the engagements is that the importance and the need for collaboration across the agencies. So I think that aspect was what he must have, not speaking for him, but that's what I heard. Yeah, I think that's what was the common ground for everyone. So from our engagement across the board, right from Monday to this very day, what continues to come out is that for successful execution of financial crime matters, there's need for collaboration across the board for the law enforcement agencies. Yeah. I think you got putting words into your mouth.
No, that's very fair, I think. And I think the comment I would make is that the challenges that you talk about in Malawi are very much the same challenges that we talk about in Scotland. We have the same challenges. And I would say I'm a police officer, and police officers love to moan. Scotsmen love to moan. We're always very negative. So, as a Scottish policeman, we do complain. We always say we don't have enough resources, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough people, we can't do the job without X, Y, Z. But I think there's a very good lesson for us to take from Malawi, who achieve so much with less resources than we have. So I think we can learn that it's not all about lots of resources. We have what we have, and we'll learn to make the most of what we have and work within that budget with the people that we have. We get the best out of our people, we get the best out of our budget, and I think that's how we will achieve the most, both in terms of financial crimes, but gender-based violence and many other aspects of our work. So, of course, I say we like our own. I think we need to have that positive mindset, believe that we can improve things, and make a commitment to make things better for those who come after us and future generations.
Yeah, I wonder if I can add to that. It's one thing when you think that you have a good system in place. The United Kingdom generally is a world leader in asset recovery. But you think you have something good in place, and then you start working with it. But there is a certain, let me say, human comfort to find out that you are not alone. So when I have been talking with some of the financial investigators and others that we have been exposed to, there are some key comforting elements that have come to them to realize that Scotland is not alone. I'll give you some examples. The duration of financial crimes investigations. I was very surprised to hear that the time it takes for the investigators, the financial crime investigators here to conduct their investigations is the same challenge I hear in Malawi. It takes time. Good investigation takes time. And then they explain the pressures that they are under, time pressures to get things done and to prosecute and to move things quickly. There's a commonality there that they have learned that they're in the same situation as developed as they might think they are. They're in the same boat as Malawi on that one, right? And I think globally, that's the challenge. Another area is the virtual assets, where we ask them a lot of questions about the virtual assets situation and the whole virtual assets tracing, tracking, recovery, etc. is still very new here, and they are still learning. And they are interested to learn from Malawi also, in terms of what Malawi is doing to create a brand new framework. What can they learn from what you are seeing now? Because this landscape is moving so quickly that from what they had set themselves as a standard is now already almost obsolete. So they now want to learn from where are we in Malawi in terms of where we move to. So there's conversations to be had there also. In particular, we talked about cryptocurrency and the joint learning. Of great interest, I would say, one of the lady investigators I was speaking to said, "Isn't it amazing that Malawi has come with 3 women judges? And we still need to catch up in that space of gender equality. And Malawi had a woman president and so many women leaders. And this was something that they recognized because also Scotland and the UK has some strong women leaders, and they see this as a mutual appreciation. And I think a key element is the work that is, I know, Honourable Justice Patemba, you have organized for us to meet with the International Women's Association of Judges. I don't know if I've got the organization name correctly, with a view to a discussion on women's access to justice in Malawi. So this already is an area of learning and sharing of how we see things. So this was recognized that Honourable Justice Redson Kapindu was surrounded by lady judges. So my ladies, I want to say congratulations. Malawi has been noticed for this. So yes, there are some learnings, and there's that recognition that challenges that we bring from Malawi to say, can we learn from you? And they think, ooh, but we haven't got that one solved yet. There is a certain comfort there. So I stop there.
Thank you, John. Time was against us, and we could continue. I think for a long time in this rich seam of what we've been hearing today about the visit. But we've heard, I think, about the importance of the Malawi chapter of the International Association of Women Judges, of the vital work that GIZ's doing on sex for grades. Of the collaboration of Police Scotland and the Malawi police force, some of which is funded by the Scottish Government. Tremendous to hear the impression that 3 Malawi High Court judges have made in Scotland, as well as the gentleman judge as well, with lots of potential for more on women's access to justice. We had a recent event with Sarai Chisala Templehoff as well, of the Gender Justice Unit, and really tremendous that so much work is going on between Scotland and Malawi on gender-based violence. We've heard today, I think, about the importance of collaboration across agencies and the key issue of coordination of the different sectors so that the case stands up in court, and of the potential to share insights with other sectors of the justice process, of having had meaningful insights into training towards that ambition of becoming a fully fledged judicial institute as well, that you've said has raised the bar. And also, I think interestingly, about time pressures, the most busy High Court judges have given up time to come over from Malawi to spend time with the busiest people in Scotland, who are wanting to spend time collaborating together and learning from one another, which is just tremendous. A video of today's event will go up online on the SNP's website shortly after today on the past events page. Thank you to all of you, our speakers, to Justice Patemba, the Honourable Justice Professor Redson Edward Kapindu, the Honourable Lady Justice Anneline Khantambi, the Honourable Lady Justice Violet Alikena Chipao, Inspector Derek Simpson, and John Anthony. To all of you online and in the room with us today, thank you to my colleagues Chad, Dorothy and Naseem for all of their hard work behind the scenes, particularly coordinating with Derek and with John. For SMP and MASP members, we have a forthcoming event with the UK High Commissioner to Malawi, Lee Stubblefield, who was appointed in November 25 and started our posting in Malawi in January of this year. It's going to be a hybrid meeting here in Edinburgh City Chambers and on Zoom. It's on Wednesday, the 8th of July at 11:30 a.m. UK time, 12:30 Malawi time. Finally, today, the SNP is keen to recognise that Inspector Derek Simpson is retiring from Police Scotland. And in fact, these are the last few days of his service with Police Scotland. It's been a real pleasure working with you, Derek. Thank you very much. I think you've heard today just how much the Honourable Justices have appreciated your professionalism and effort and how you've made everything completely sing for their visit. Thank you for all that you've done for the partnership between Scotland and Malawi. We hope you'll continue to be involved with Malawi in retirement, so do please keep in touch. Thank you again to all of our speakers. The meeting is now closed. Zikoma Kwambiri, take care. Thank you.